a 1 minute out. Let's talk about stance, body position, whatever you want to call it, right? Now, there is kind of an ideal position that I like to be in to shoot my pistol, to be able to control recoil, take multiple shots on target, and be able to, transition from target to target. Now, we have to keep in mind that a lot of times we're not going to be able to get into that ideal position. Whether it's a situation we're in the supermarket and we're at the checkout line and something breaks out. We may not be able to get our exact footing and get everything perfect the way we want, but if we understand what the best position is for ourselves and for our body type, because it's going to vary for everybody, all right, then we can at least try to get the best that we can into a good, stable position to be able to shoot multiple rounds on target or transition from target to target. So let's start with what the ideal position would be. And again, this is for me, for my body type. I mean, I'm a whopping 5'7" and 165 pounds. So my position is going to be a little bit more aggressive than someone that might be 6 foot tall and, 250 pounds. So take all of this into consideration and make sure that you get out on the range and practice each of these different techniques or footings and what I'm going to talk about to find out what works for you. All right, so ideally what I like to be is squared up to my target. So my footing right here is just square to my target, whatever that threat may be. I like to keep my feet about shoulder width apart, right? And my non-firing foot, so I'm right-handed, my left foot is going to be just kind of slightly forward of my right foot. All right, almost as if people reference it as a football stance or a track, and I'm getting ready to move forward or launch off the blocks. Okay, and it sort of has to do with that, right? I want to be able to move from this position quickly also, so I can either get off the X or move to a covered position. So again, feet are shoulder width apart. My non-firing foot is slightly forward. All right, the weight of my body is more to the balls of my feet. My heels aren't off the ground, but my weight is slightly forward. And that's going to help for me, being a smaller frame, to be able to control recoil in multiple shots and it not push me back. All right, so I've got a slight bend in my knees. Right, my knees aren't necessarily over my lead toe, but they're around that area, all right, of my lead toe. I have this break in my waist. And think of that break in your waist more like, for any of you golfers out there, when, you're getting in position to golf, you kind of, push your butt out a little bit, or if you're going to sit in a chair, all right, that type of a break, or for any of you weightlifters that are getting ready to do a squat, all right, that's the break, all right? I'm not just kind of bending forward at the waist, I'm more or less sort of breaking at my waist and pushing my backside out a little bit, right? When I do that, that then takes my chest and kind of my shoulders and nearly aligns it, right? It's not perfect, but it kind of pushes it forward to where my knee is, and then that lead, the toes on my lead foot. So we've got a little bit of an alignment going here, all right? That nice break in the waist, and then the weight, again, is forward and kind of on the balls of my feet. Now, when we go through that whole draw process with this natural body position, we're bringing that pistol up into that ready position, and our head and neck is going to stay upright. We don't want to crunch down. We don't want to be super tight with our shoulders. All right, we want our shoulders to be nice and relaxed when we come into this ready position to complete our grip. Right, with this, my eyes, I picture my eyes as like the actual sights. My eyes are the laser focus on the target. So when I come into my ready position and complete my grip, I can already pick up my front sight post. The pistol is in like this kind of a rectangle, I like to call it. All right, this is my line of vision. I'm just getting the pistol up into that line of vision. So now as I push the pistol out, all I'm doing is leveling the pistol, prepping the trigger, and leveling out my sights. All right, so when I get to near extension, I'm ready to shoot. If I'm moving my arm or crunching down on my neck as I do this, that's additional moving pieces that's going to be a lot harder to then line up my sights. I've got a rear sight, a front sight that I'm trying to get lined up onto the target, right onto the center of what that thread is or the X-ring. So I want to eliminate as many moving pieces as I can. So I laser focus my eyes right to where I want to go. The pistol just comes up in, front sight. All right, now I level. I can see both my rear and front sight, but my focus is on the target, right? I just bring everything into that line of vision, prep the trigger. So once I get out here, I can then engage. Now, when I'm engaging with multiple rounds, having all of this locked in and steady and that weight forward is really what's going to help me to manage recoil and to be able to shoot multiple rounds. Because if my body position is weak and this is a good thing that you can test on the range, is just go ahead and shoot 5 or 6 rounds as fast as you can with your body position, and it will tell you if it's too weak. If it's too weak, you're gonna see that you're gonna start to come back here, the weight goes down to your heels, and then you have to come off trigger to get back forward. So what's happening now is the pistol's recoiling, so as it comes up, all right, and I'm letting it settle back down, but it's continually coming up as my weight goes back. So now that's even more that I have to get that pistol back down on target. But if I have a good aggressive stance, that weight forward, then as I push the pistol out, it's just all in, as much grip as I can with this hand to help control that pistol and get the recoil to be as little as possible so that I can maintain multiple rounds on target as quick as I can and keep that muzzle flip as small as possible, all right? There you have what I feel is the ideal stance, all right? But we do need to understand that it's not gonna be every time that we can get into that. So there are times that we need to practice from, sideways. Oh, what am I gonna do? Well, when I draw, I'm gonna try to push my feet forward and get into that position the best that I can each time that I draw, all right? So work through those different things on the range, understand different positions. You may not get into that ideal position, but if you know what it is for you and your body type, then you'll be more successful when you can't get into that position in an everyday carry situation.